right, welcome back, everyone. It has been a little bit since we've been on stream. I am Nadia, and this is Ari. Welcome. And I believe today Ari has something to show us.
Absolutely. So, today I would like to show this camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I would like to show my, I'm not sure if this is showing, but my embossed diamond pattern harlequin cloak technique. So, it's simpler than you'd think. You can get a lot of detail for not a whole lot of effort, and with a little bit of practice, it is really kind of simple to do. So let me just get some of these bags out of the way. And yeah.
Brendan has greeted us with the customary squid. Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. So the hardest part of doing this is honestly just blocking out the shapes. It's pretty difficult to get them even. It's a lot harder than doing like checkers or something where you're just going to be doing straight lines. With this, it's a little more uneven, but it really isn't too bad.
All right. Some people were mentioning that they could not quite hear Ari, so I'm going to go ahead and test the sound and see if we can't get that working.
Testing, testing. Testing. Good. Okay. So, today I am going to show the diamond pattern embossed harlequin cloak that I've been doing a good amount of recently. So it's gonna be mostly red and blue in most instances. I don't know. People do different colors. It works the same no matter what. But it gives you a really nice look and breaks up kind of the large surfaces that you get on these models. So, here is one that I have done most of the work on already, and then I've done half of the cloak so far. So here is one side of it that I have done, and then here's the other side that I've just spent a couple minutes blocking in. And there's just a huge difference. Ooh, we have a close-up cam. Snowing in space, delicious coffee. Everyone should drink it. You will not sleep. So here is a finished cloak. You can see it is red and blue alternating diamonds with very fine black lines between them and a little bit of weathering. So the goal of this technique is to break up the super big kind of flat open surfaces you get with these models. So for example, here's one with a just blank cloak. You can see it is very kind of plain versus this kind of thing. And it fits with their lore very nicely. So today I will work on this side of this cloak to get it to match over here. So the first step is obviously just blocking out the colors, and that takes the longest and is the most annoying. But you can sort of get around it by doing almost a crosshatch pattern with the directions that you would like in the alternate color to the one that you base coat with. And even though that won't really show up in the final product, it will inform you and make the blocking in a lot quicker. So once you do that, it's kind of just going back and forth between your colors, and it doesn't matter which colors you use. It's just whatever you enjoy doing. I'm going a little dark with it today, just because that's what I enjoy. I don't want it to be too overbearing, but do whatever you like. And then after that is when it really gets interesting. So once you have your basic stuff blocked in, you just want to do a fine black line with a very kind of thin layer consistency black paint. You can see it flows off the brush really easily. Just really kind of buttery smooth. Today I'm using a Chimera Purpose Black. And you just want to take a nice fine brush and run it along all the lines. It doesn't matter if these are the cleanest lines as long as they are in the right places, because it'll all be cleaned up later, but it's a lot more tricky to get black off of red than red off of black.
Yeah, I imagine it's a lot harder to get anything lighter once there's a very dark shade on there.
Yeah, and it's a lot more forgiving on something like this where it's a flat surface that you're freehanding on, because you don't have to worry about clogging up details or anything. But there is kind of a limit to it. So what are you working on tonight, Nadia?
I am working on the Warforged Juggernaut again. I was going to be testing, well, I am testing this pumpkin orange color that we were sent by Reaper Miniatures. And I must say, it certainly is almost precisely the exact color of like pumpkin puree when it goes down, which I am intimately familiar with right now because I have made a pumpkin pie recently.
Nice.
And I have been slated to pumpkin pie duty for pretty much the rest of the season.
Okay, favorite kind of pie, go.
Oh, that's hard. It's really just a tie between like that lattice apple pie that has like the brown sugar coating on it and pumpkin pie.
Definitely pumpkin pie for me, but I do see the appeal of the lattice one.
Yeah. I'll bring in pie for you.
Ooh.
There you go.
That would be amazing. Thank
Even
you.
more wonderful reasons to come in and stream.
Yes.
I will pay you for your content with pie.
That would be the best form of payment.
There you go. I'm actually quite proud of myself. Tom does not like pumpkin pie, but he had the pumpkin pie I made, and he said he very much likes it. So I'm very proud of my pumpkin pie.
That is awesome. Yeah, pumpkin pie, you can't go wrong with it.
I've had some pretty questionable pumpkin pie before,
Really?
to be fair. Yeah.
Okay. I guess you can go wrong with it. It is hard to go wrong with it.
It's hard, yeah.
It's difficult to get it really right, though, too. Like, there's a definite kind of texture you need in the filling to get it to just have that satisfying, I don't know. It needs to feel substantial.
Yeah,
but still light.
Yeah. It's definitely very, I don't know, the texture is kind of odd for me because it's always just something I sort of like, because literally the last time I made pumpkin pie, which was recently, I just freehanded it.
Nice.
I just made that stuff with my heart. I was just like, nah, whatever, I don't need measuring cups, because we didn't have measuring cups at the time.
Yeah.
Because we are still settling in to our new apartment, which is going great, by the way. I'm very, very pleased with my sweet boys. I don't know if you got to meet Atlas at all during the Extra Life stream, but he was the little dog walking around, wandering around.
Yeah. Very cute one.
Oh, well, all dogs.
Yes, but
I have to be fair and say all dogs are cute.
you know that Atlas is very cute.
Extremely cute. I'm very proud of him. I actually also recently cut his fur because he does this really fun thing now where he will walk in like right in front of us in the halls.
Mm-hmm.
But also slow down and look over his shoulder to make sure that we're catching up. So he has a very long curly tail, and the unfortunate part of this is his hair was so long on his tail that we accidentally kind of kept stepping on the like tips of it.
Yeah.
And we were like, no, oh my god. So I trimmed his hair and now he looks much cooler actually.
Nice. Oh yeah, I read a thing about how like trimming hair makes the ends blunt, which makes it look longer.
It kind of does, yeah, but it also he's a fun little dog because he's a like mix of several small breeds, like a Shih Tzu, Chihuahua, Pomeranian.
Ooh, nice.
So
that's quite a fur type.
Yeah, it is. It's very weird. And generally when people hear the Chihuahua part, they're like, uh-oh, because everyone has that, Chihuahua stereotype. But
yes.
He is very well trained. So, the only problem is that with COVID happening and such, we did not get to bring him many places. So he's kind of been a little bit like separate, I guess, from like people in general that aren't just me and my partner.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get him back to being completely around new people. I promise that he's not rude. He's a very sweet boy.
So for people the next step is to find line onto the top two and line the diamond with a lighter version of the color. So you can see I finished the red for that and I'm doing the blue now. And it'll still look a little messy at this point. That's to be expected, but you just want to that it'll go quicker than you think. Just try to take your time with this. This is where we're gonna get a lot of definition from.
See, when I was putting this on, I was thinking it would have more of a rust color, but it really just does look like this Warforged juggernaut just sliced up a pumpkin.
Shoot. So, wait, let's go into this because rust is a really fun thing that you can do a lot of different ways. Can I take a look?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I kind of see what you mean. What I would recommend is now that you have some of that on there, mixing it with a little bit of a darker orange and keeping the drier. You can take your ladder brush and make sure it's super dry and then kind of dip it kind of like straight down into the paint and then just dab it on really lightly.
Okay.
Almost like a sponging effect, but with a much finer grain since you're doing it with a brush.
Got it.
And then just kind of do that across it, try to get an uneven look, and it should help a lot.
Why?
No, the furl of the brush. Well, super glue will remedy that.
If I can get it out.
Oh. Here.
Of the plastic. Ah! certain I have a darker orange. I did
can-
not foresee. I guess I could add a little bit of brown.
You can also do a little bit of brown with that too. You can do a couple shades. The more you do, the more variation you'll get and the better it'll look. I'm just gonna multi-tool this a little bit.
That is fair.
Yeah. Yeah, the Chimera paints are just super, super pigmented. Not sponsored by them. Just love their product. A little expensive, but very worth it. Anyone who's serious about model painting and likes mixing their own colors.
All right, goals. We get you sponsored by Chimera Paints.
Yes. Anyone
go.
from Chimera or Pegaso, if you're watching, please sponsor us.
Oh.
I love your products. Difficult.
Yeah, it's really in there. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Speaking of this music, have you played any Animal Crossing?
I actually have not. I have a Switch. I
Oh.
need to. But
But it is definitely one of those things that's just like kept me sane, because whenever I get sick, I'm just like, because I am not a person who likes lying down or like not being active. So if I have like a handheld thing like a Switch in my hands, I will actually like lie down and rest, and that's like of my healing process,
yeah.
because
Okay, this is gonna need some super glue because it is very separated still. But I got it out. But also,
hey,
I kind of jacked it up a little bit, but it's out,
It's fine.
and it's very
builds
fixable.
Character.
It's very fixable. Yeah. Here is the thing. That was a bit of a crisis.
But because when I was like young, my parents were always like, if you're sick, you can't like do anything that you enjoy or have fun or feel fine. So you're not allowed to do anything at all except lie in bed. And because I have like ADHD, it was one of the worst experiences of my life. I hate being sick so much, and I still hate being sick, but it's a little bit more tolerable now because I can just let myself actually like just sit and watch YouTube or just play Nintendo or something, so I can actually just stay in bed instead of, because if I didn't have anything to do, I would be in bed and like antsy, and I would eventually be like, okay, I give up, I'm getting up, and people would be like, no, your leg is broken, get back down.
Yeah.
So
I very much get that.
I actually had a lot of leg injuries as a child. I'm
Really?
thinking about it now, because like I think the most egregious one that like represents all of them is, so you know those like Hunt's tomato puree
Yeah.
cans that are like that big or something.
Yeah.
One rolled off of a counter that was like
Oh,
that
God.
high and landed right on my foot,
Mm.
and it broke it. So
Oh,
that
man.
was the first broken bone I ever had, and
man.
it was just like, how did this even happen?
Yeah. Oh man, that sounds so painful.
I just remember it being super weird.
I don't get like serious injuries very much, but I have a list on my phone of the dumbest injuries I've gotten.
Ooh.
Let's see. I sprained my ankle from walking across the street and tripping over my own foot.
Oh no!
I broke my toe by walking past a chair and being too close to the chair
Oh yeah, I've done that
twice.
Yeah, I've done that like twice,
Yeah.
like in a row, twice. Fun thing, I used to actually be in like a dancing troupe,
Ooh.
and dancers, are all of the, you know, grace and not being clumsy that they are known for, are the clumsiest people if they are not actively on the stage.
Gotcha.
So I have known like every single person I have ever danced with in my dance troupe has like broken their foot because they slammed it into something while they were walking.
Oh man. Yeah. Injuries are so weird. One time I dislocated my jaw by yawning too hard.
Ooh.
And the worst and most recent was I tore my rhomboid by sitting up from the floor.
Oh no!
I was laying on the floor and I was like, okay, I sit up now.
You're too young to be having injuries like that. Oh my gosh.
And that was 7 months ago and it didn't heal, but I have physical therapy appointments, so it's okay. But yeah.
Alright, please, you're gonna give me like secondary stress, like injuries. I don't know.
Yeah. Alright, so people at home, I finished that highlighting step. It's looking a little cleaner now. You can definitely start to see the effect happening. It'll become more like that. So you can see those initial highlights in there. And now I'm gonna go back with the same black to do those lines again, but now that I have these nice and defined, they'll be thinner. And they'll be a lot easier to do accurately because you have a much greater kind of guide. And to be able to do this consistently does take practice. I've done this probably 10 times, and it's always difficult, but every time it gets a little easier.
I'm about to do some Reaper miniature paint ASMR.
Ooh.
I hope that was unpleasant for all of you.
On the contrary, I think it was very pleasant.
Yeah.
So the goal of doing these black lines is to make it look almost like texture, like 3D and embossed. And you don't want to overdo it, but if you can get that effect at least a little bit, it adds so much visual interest. That is number one thing when you're painting models in press. And that step is my favorite one of this whole process because it's really when it starts to take shape. And you can leave it here. It looks, in my opinion, very nice at this point. Gotcha.
You recognize any of these songs, Chad? No, you don't. Telling us.
Yeah. Nice. Alrighty. So, this is really where you can kind of go for the look and style you want. This is kind of the last step that's really crucial to getting the effect. And then, for me, I like doing a bit of weathering to smooth it out a little bit and just make it more subtle. But you can really do whatever you want with it. At this point, it has the highlights on it. It has the black lining, so it gets a little bit of that 3D look. And then I'm going to go back in with a different wash on each of the colors, and then a final on the red, I am using Cassandora Yellow from Games Workshop, Citadel, I guess. This is one of my favorite individual paints I have ever used. I use a lot of it. It makes any warm color more saturated. I don't know why. I don't know how. It is amazing. Especially on red. It looks, when you put it down, a little too yellow. It doesn't dry that way though.
I really like wish I knew like the technical like details that you do, because like someone very aptly put some time ago in chat, haha, paint go burr.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it just comes down to trying a lot of stuff and figuring out what works for you, because everyone paints differently. Different things work for different people. I have a lot of techniques that I've tried that I just don't understand.
Chat says that looks dope, by the way.
Thank you, chat. By the way, shout out to Phil and Ella. If you're watching, thank you. And shout out to everyone in chat, because you are all amazing, and thank you so much for watching.
We really need to get like more custom Twitch emotes in here. I am slacking on that a little bit. And I also would welcome ideas. Like if you saw on our Extra Life stream, which I am still extremely proud of, by the way. We actually had a tip jar with little tiny green monkeys dropping in it, so
that's amazing. Love that.
So I'll see if I can't come up with some sort of little custom cute little monkey that we can put on screen. And it's so... monkeys specifically are very weird, especially for like creating things for them in graphic design, because they can... because if you go too cute with them, sometimes they kind of look like a person. And if you don't, then they look very scary. We've actually had a lot of feedback that the like monkey logo that we have is scary. Not the latest one, which is done by the amazing Ali Slauson. But the you know, the monkey.
Yes.
Guy who's hanging up here on the wall right there.
Woo. Yeah. Is that why it got changed?
I don't believe so. I believe we got the new monkey logo from Ali Slauson simply because the old one was a little bit like simplistic, and we were looking for something a little bit more modern. And I think she did really just an amazing, wonderful, excellent job.
Absolutely. The new design.
So good.
Yes. It's outstanding. And the shirts are even better. I mean, I just love how it's incorporated into them. I have a few of the shirts because they're amazing.
Of course, can't knock the classics.
Yeah.
We will always love the classic monkey.
Of course.
He's brought us many smiles, many memories.
I'm wearing the classic monkey
there
right
you go.
now.
He's vintage.
Yes. Alright, so paint is drying, so it has a little bit of an odd finish right now, but I did the blue and yellow washes on the colors that are currently on here. I did Drakenhof Nightshade on the blue just to bring it down a little bit. I don't want either color to overpower the other, and the rest of the model has a very cool toned look to it. There's like purple, and the black is very blue, and the other fabric is purple, so I want the warm tone to just be a little more intense. And then you can see this side's a little bit darker than this one, So I'm just going to kind of tie the last little bit together by a really nice thin black wash, as thin as a glaze.
So we're being asked about the monkey card roll and if we're ever going to do it again. I honestly don't know, but since it was such a trademark to like the end, I think we can probably look forward to a comeback.
Woo!
It might be redesigned, but I think we can probably look forward to it returning at some point.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. The monkey.
Also, it was always extremely fun when people would do monkey draft
Oh yeah.
tournaments, because then you got some wild combinations. Because if you remember, there were unsets on the monkey stack.
Oh, yeah.
So people would just go wild, which is amazing and great.
Yes.
Have you been keeping up with anything from the recent Magic set?
So, not a whole ton. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really play Magic. I've been trying to get into it.
Mhm.
Thank you, Ray. I appreciate your tutelage. It's very complicated.
Oh yeah, don't worry. It
Yeah.
it took me 2 years to get like a firm hold on how the rules.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I've been playing Hearthstone since the month it came out. I'm a lot better at that. It's similar, but not. Okay, so I did the last little black wash on there, and I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I think it is cohesive with the other side, and you can see how kind of quickly and simply you can get that nice of an effect. And you can even do it quicker than that. If you want, you don't have to do the black lines or the highlights or anything. That's just how I like to do it. And yeah.
that really does look amazing. So I actually don't know, like, I've said this before, I don't know anything about Warhammer, so I really like the look of these. What are these?
Okay, so these guys are Harlequins. They are a type of Eldari, which are basically space elves.
Got it.
They are like one of my favorite kind of thematic armies. Every battle they do is almost like a choreographed dance routine, and they have these kind of, it's almost like they're performing a play, and they have specific stories of events in Eldar history to tell through their combat.
Okay. Is that like reflected in gameplay?
Somewhat. They play very uniquely in a meta context. It doesn't really, just because of like you want to keep them in ships so that they survive until they get in melee, and they're not able to really do that. But you can really play them like that, and I think it's just such a cool concept to have them like dancing around in formation, killing stuff.
Oh no. And I've, like a fool, revealed their weakness here on stream. Which is, when they aren't performing, they're clearly just running into everything.
Oh no! Yeah, I mean, you are not wrong. My issue with the models, my beef per se, is that unless you put counterweights on them, which I haven't done yet, you give them one tiny little tap. Actually, I can demonstrate here. Look at this guy, the way he's leaning. You
wow.
you touch it and it falls over. You touch it and it leans. You touch it and it falls over. I'm not pushing hard on it. I'm just touching
Yeah,
it.
it's just like so dramatically off center that it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine that's to be expected simply because of how dramatic it is. I
Yeah.
didn't actually know you could counterweight it,
You just
which
stick
makes
a
a
penny.
lot of things more like understandable.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reason why Games Workshop bases are amazing, is because they're hollow. There's hot glue in these for some reason. But which I'm gonna pick out. It's satisfying. But since the bases are hollow, you can just like glue a penny in there, just super quick and easy.
Oh, wow.
Obviously cheap too. Even for a full army, you're not spending more than $1 on it. And yeah, it's enough weight since they're not very heavy. I mean, like, you can feel very light.
Oh. Yeah, that's extremely light.
Yeah. So a coin balances them out really nicely. Yeah.
I don't think that would work on this guy, but also I don't think this guy has to worry about the
Yeah. Also,
he is untippable.
you could say he's not old tipping you.
Yeah.
Also, these Harlequins, when they're done, are going to be available on my web store at glorfindax.com. I have a nice holiday sale going on there, so you should all check that out. glorfindax.com.
The spelling popped up on Ari's name tag. I'll go ahead and have that come up one more time. You can find their stuff at
Yeah, if you're interested in a commission, please let me know. If you want to help support me by getting something from the web store, there's a bunch of things on there. These guys will be on there soon. I am going to start doing painting classes around here, which will also be available on the website. And if you'd just like to check out my work, I have a portfolio on there too. So, yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm very happy with how it came out.
And, did you design this site yourself?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Squarespace is great. It still took forever.
I mean, yeah, but it made things, like, much more understandable and
Yes.
easier. I don't know how many people learned how, like, what they learned. I have no. What I'm trying to say is, I learned HTML from my Neopets page. So,
Yeah.
you take what you can get.
Yeah, definitely. It's less user-friendly than it could be, but it's good value, and you can make a good site with pretty much anything you want on it.
He's not being tipped, chat. You can't make me tip him. He is untippable.
Untippable. So I think, since I finished that guy, I'm going to just show how to do the diamonds in the first place.
Ooh, yes, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start with Corn Red and Chimera's. Oh, and Corn Red is a Games Workshop meme, a good one from them. More saturated red, and then Chimera's Phthalo Blue Red Shade, which just has a bit more of a purple look to it. I like it for that. So I'm gonna start with the bottom row of diamonds. That way they're only kind of half a diamond. So you can see it's not clean at all, but as long as you kind of get that piece of shape in there, generally it's helpful to do like little guiding lines.
What's up, Jippy? From New Orleans to
I'm
Perth.
actually going to do in this red.
Not down with lo-fi that has when you're trying to. So.
Yes.
There we go.
So you can see I put some of those lines in there. Again, very messy. That is okay. It comes together later. And this will just help you get the idea of the diamond shape. part of the process, and it will make you question your sanity.
That, like painting in general though.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the slow, like loss of your grip on reality.
Yeah, definitely. So here is kind of those. Now I'm just gonna fill in the alternating. They don't even look like diamonds. But yeah, no, painting should not be exercise of insanity.
Though I will say, Bob Ross is remarkable.
This is true.
So who's
Yeah, he's the odd one out.
the exception that proves the rule?
Yep.
There you go.
There it is.
I am going to say something that I feel like will upset viewers and coworkers and people who know me. I've never seen a Bob Ross show.
You need to watch him. I cannot accept this.
No. I mean, I probably will simply because I do have the space to have my easel set up now. So I can actually probably get to working with acrylics for once, actually. So that might be really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, like,
I don't even like follow his tutorials. He's just so calming.
yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that about things like Bob Ross or how it's made. And I don't personally get that. I am the person who, like, chills out and calms down and gets in the bathtub and puts on, like, a podcast about a true crime or a murder.
That
so
is
it's
fair.
Like,
That, you know what? I respect that. People calm down different ways.
there you go. Like, I understand that it's kind of odd, but also I'm not out here being like salivating over Jeffrey Dahmer or something weird like that. Like
Yeah.
putting flower crowns on Ted Bundy.
No.
Wild. It actually is like, it boggles the mind that there's people who do that. Like, for
Yeah.
me.
No. Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff said about true crime, but
Yeah.
this is not the place, not the time.
Mhm.
This is the chill paint.
It is.
That said, watch Bob Ross. Yes, I like that.
Yes.
I mean, I haven't experienced it. I feel like I probably should. Like, I feel like I missed out on a like, key, like, cultural touchstone.
Yeah. Okay. So I kind of blocked in the red on here, and now I'm just going back to the blue that I base coated with and getting the shapes of that in. Once again, doesn't have to be clean yet. That everything gets fixed later. Just focus on getting the spacing right.
Chat also says, let's pretend I'm not awesome at painting. What's something good to focus on learning?
Okay, so learning wise, I'd say focus on figuring out what you like, because you're always going to be able to work towards something like that, but if you don't have an aim, then you're not going to be motivated. So if you enjoy like a really clean look, then you can work on really like slick edge highlighting and clean base coats and that kind of stuff. If you enjoy something more weathered, learn about oil washes or like different weathering effects. So it all really comes down to personal preference.
Yeah, I don't really know too many, like, miniature paint techniques, simply because I don't like know how to find out stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
YouTube is an amazing resource. The main three techniques beginners need are the base coat, the wash, and the dry brush.
mhm.
The wash and the dry brush are not going to get you super far, but they're really useful for creating just a quick, nice tabletop look. And they do have their place.
Okay.
So
I'm right.
base coating is kind of your quintessential, just like get a color. Washing, there's specific paints made for it. Citadel Shades are kind of the industry leader for that, but Vallejo and Army Painter and a few others also have their own.
Vallejo is actually also working on paints with D&D forming.
Ooh,
I don't know. Hold on, let me look in this mag. I saw them. And I was like, ooh. Yeah, here we go. D&D prismatic paints.
ooh,
Designed to go on smoothly and leave a nice matte finish on hobby miniatures.
nice.
Developed by Acrylicos Vallejo, there are 60 paints, including 20 new colors, formulated specifically for the D&D prismatic paint line, should appeal to beginners and experienced painters alike.
That's awesome.
So I'm pretty excited. They're
Yeah.
also doing dropper bottles, which
Oh,
I'm very
yeah.
happy for.
Definitely,
Um,
dropper bottles are really good.
Mm-hmm. And it
Yeah.
will also have an indicator if the contents are a basic color, a wash, an effect paint, a metallic, or a medium or varnish.
Nice. Oh, another thing for newer painters, learn how to thin your paints. It takes practice. It will take longer when you're first starting out. It will save you so much time and energy and effort, and you won't clog up details. 2 thin coats, as the great man Duncan Rhodes says. He has a great YouTube channel. It's the Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy, and he used to be the host of Warhammer TV. He has some really great guides on kind of basic techniques, but you generally, for a base coat, want about a 70-30 ratio of paint to water. And that's just going to get you much smoother coverage, and just take it slow.
I'm also just really enjoying like the paint names
Yeah.
because they have prismatic paint, Bahir breath, black,
Nice.
nice, black pudding, black wash, bloody red, bone white, bright bronze, metallic, bullywug hide, dark flesh tone, dead flesh, dead white, displacer beast, dried blood effect, dry rust effect. I'm really looking forward to these like effect paints. I think those are going to be mad interesting.
Absolutely.
I really, because if it's something like where you can just slap it on and it kind of does the rest, that would be transformative.
Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of what Games Workshop contrast paints are for.
Chat says a thinning paint ratio is very, very helpful.
I'm glad. Yeah, it can vary paint to paint. But that kind of just takes practice to figure out for individual ones. Like I would thin Torn Red a little less than I would the Kimura blue that I'm using, just because the Kimura one is a lot more highly pigmented. So it'll be thicker and chunkier to start with, but the more you thin it, the kind of more intense it gets.
I have to say, I'm really excited for whatever Dweeblex slime wash is going to look like. There's also going to be Hexed Lichen and Illithid skin. They also have one that's just elf skin tone.
Huh.
Which is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Because I'll have questions.
Yes.
Let's see. Off-white, orange fire, pale flesh, rust effect, and rust monster. That's not gonna be confusing.
Yeah.
Sea hag blue, yay.
Ooh.
Sick green. That's a sick green, bro. Thry-creen chitin.
That's an interesting name.
Yeah. Tarask carapace. Verdigris effect. Winter wolf pelt. Gloss matte and metal. Gloss and matte varnishes and a metal medium.
Okay. Metal medium is a great thing to include.
I'm very, very, very interested and curious. And it does seem like they're going to be releasing like cases of them so you can get a bunch at once.
That's
as well
cool.
as paintbrushes. It looks like they're going to have a basic starter case and an intermediate case.
Nice.
And again, they're releasing this with like the framework stuff. So I'm very excited about like miniatures becoming a bigger thing for D&D. So I think that will be very fun.
Absolutely, me too. Okay, so I just you could see me working on this in the background, I think, but I have just sort of blocked in the basic diamonds on this. It took maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Camera issues real quick. But like I said, it doesn't take that long, but this step is the most annoying. After this, it goes into what I was doing before, which is the black lining and then the highlighting, and then back to black lining, and then washes. So it's really not too long a process. It just looks daunting at first, but once you break it down, it's a lot more manageable. And this is the kind of thing that if you really are like dedicated to getting your army looking super spiffy, it's a great way to do that. And you don't even have to do it on every model either. Not all of them have cloaks, that kind of thing, and it's even easier on vehicles because the surfaces are smoother. But you can see the difference between this kind of thing and this with only a couple minutes of work.
I actually have a question, like, regarding the paint thinning ratio. So when I saw, like, thinning paints, was it the idea?
Yeah.
My mind immediately went eyedropper. Is it dumb to just get, like, drops of water and measure it out like that exactly?
So, generally, unless you're doing really big models, like this is probably the smallest you should be doing this for. That is the smallest you would want to be using that much paint, that you would be using full drops of water. Like if you look on my palette, you can see from my hand that the amounts of paint in the individual colors, like that's my blue highlight, that's my red highlight, that's my red base coat. The amounts of paint are so small that you're going to be using just the tiniest bit of water for that ratio. And it's really easy to overdo. When I was first starting, I thinned mine way too much, so it was taking me like 4 coats for a base coat.
Okay.
But that's a better place to start from than
All right.
not thinning.
I am curious, how do you know if you thin?
At the point that it's hard to control the paint flowing off the brush. You kind of have to just go by feel, but if it's taking more than 3 coats to base coat a color that's not yellow or white, or you're having a hard time controlling the color that you wouldn't otherwise have trouble with.
And okay, so like dry paint chips, because I have noticed some flecking off of my like paint bottle, and I'm like, but I don't want to like waste it.
That's a
Is-
natural part of it. If you look in literally any of my paints, it's just a thing that happens. It's really not wasting very much
Okay.
paint. In comparison to the full size of the bottle, you're maybe gonna lose like 2% of it from that. You just gotta kind of be careful with how you're squirting it out of the bottle onto the thing. If you're getting like a lot around the edges, just drop it from a bit higher up. But like I could give an example of
Well, it's just like chips from when the paint dries under the top.
yeah, no, I know.
And I'm like, ugh.
But like
Should I like just put water on it
No,
and try and revive
do not.
it? Okay.
like you can see on mine here, this is how all of mine look. It's this much like every 2 or 3 days, and it's really not actually wasting much
Okay.
paint.
That actually soothed me a lot
Yeah.
because I was sitting here like, oh my God, I'm losing so much paint. I'm so wasteful.
But yeah, no, it looks like a lot, but then if you take a look at this piece, it's maybe 0.5 millimeter thick at its thickest
Okay.
point. It's
Yeah.
it's a negligible amount. I was worried about the same thing too at one point. You're losing maybe 5 cents of paint
Okay.
that way.
But like trying to put water on it and like, I don't know, dissolve it or whatever is probably just more effort than it's worth, and also
not gonna-
probably detrimental to your like
Absolutely.
miniatures, I feel like.
So even if it did work, which it wouldn't, it would still just be getting like a chalkier finish if the paint ended up ever drying. But also it wouldn't be able to do it because even though the paints are water soluble, they're acrylics, so when they dry, they form like a plastic.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, you'd just kind of be dissolving them, not back into paint, but
Into like,
a weird powder.
okay. That is interesting because I did not know that about acrylics. No one has taught me that about acrylics.
Yeah.
I really do feel like at some point, I feel like at some point someone probably should have told me more about how paints are used and work, simply because I feel like I learn something extremely basic about painting like every time I paint. Or every time I talk to someone who does like paint regularly.
I mean, it's specific knowledge that only has a couple use cases, but when it's important, it's really important. So that's why you can have like clear acrylic rods, because it's just a type of plastic that they've let harden, whereas in paint they've mixed it with other stuff. Yeah. But that's also what makes it good for miniature painting, because like with oils, a lot of people actually use oils in miniature painting.
Really?
You can do a lot of stuff with it. I don't personally enjoy it because you have to varnish it between
I was like,
switching between them.
I imagine that adds a lot to the like just the layers of it, simply because that's so much just stuff on the surface of the mini.
I mean, you thin it down so much with
Oh my
mineral
God.
spirits. Like you're using maybe 1/10 of the amount of paint you are with acrylic.
Oh wow.
Unless you're using like Chimera paints, or the closest thing I've found to oils that are acrylic,
Mhm.
just because of how highly pigmented they are. But once again, like you're paying for that pigmentation.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people do oil washes with like a burnt umber or something like that. And that way you can get like
over acrylics?
over acrylics. You
Okay.
varnish the acrylics and then you do a super, super thin down oil wash and then you varnish it again. And that gives you a really quick, like, instant weathering. But that's really only good for like large armies or whatever. And it takes a while to let it dry and varnish it and all that. It's a lot of effort, and I feel like you can just do the same thing with acrylics. I don't see the appeal. Some people do. I don't know. I've tried it a lot. I've tried to like it. I just don't.
I have only really encountered like Reaper miniatures, Vallejo, and Citadel paint. So
I mean, those are
it's
the main
really,
three that are
yeah.
sold. But yeah, they're. I'd say the main players at the moment in the paint industry for kind of high-end stuff are Chimera is popular with a very select crowd. It's only people who love mixing all their own colors.
Okay. So wait, people don't usually mix their colors? Like,
People,
shoot.
I mean, a lot of people like having it done straight out of the dropper bottle or. I don't get that.
Yeah, because this whole time I've been mixing the paints because
Exactly.
they're paints.
They're
and
paints.
That's what.
That's what I
know.
do. Yeah. So I don't really understand that. But some people don't like use a palette or thin their paints or anything. Which, I mean, if it works for them, it works for them. Once again, everyone paints differently, but yeah.
So you said Chimera's popular with like a specific like group of people.
Yeah.
And those are just people who like mixing their paints.
Who like mixing every color they
Okay.
use. So, because you're almost never just going to be using one straight out of the bottle. Either you're thinning it or you're mixing it with a few other things.
So it's like primary colors and then like
yeah.
the usual gamut of like titanium white or
Yeah.
okay, cool.
So, yeah, you're getting 13 colors in a medium, and it's pricey and it'll last you forever. But I really enjoy those. Another big player that I'd say is kind of the most consistent worldwide is Scale 75, their scale color range, which I use for my skin tones. They have a lot of great sets for different things. So they have metallic sets, skin tone sets, basic ones, and their stuff is it's very consistent and very high quality. Once again, it does cost a little more than Vallejo or Citadel or Reaper, but when you're getting into the higher level stuff, especially for colors that are more typically not ideal to use, like yellows or whites or like lighter skin tones that would often turn out chalky or not very highly pigmented, they work really well. Like this is Gilliman I'm working on for a commission. I can't really show the camera the face in this light, but you can sort of see.
Yeah, it does really look very, very good.
Yeah, I can pull up. Phone dies.
Look at those beautiful blue eyes.
Woo. So the face still needs a lot of work, but
Yeah.
actually I can show the camera that too. So yeah, you can just get a lot of smoothness with that, and that's just their skin tone set.
That is definitely news to me though that you weren't supposed to mix your paints or
That's what companies want you to not do though, because they want to sell more paints.
yeah.
So that's why Citadel is like they sell everything individually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like Vallejo, They're, in my opinion, the best value because they generally work pretty well. I like a lot of their colors. They're not really my favorite in any one category except metallics. They're airbrush metallics. This dark aluminum. They last forever because the bottles are incredibly massive. They're pre-thinned because they're made for an airbrush, and they're universally agreed to be the best metallics. They're the metallic flecks in them are way smaller than most other brands have. Once again, because they're made for an airbrush. And they're just so perfect for doing with a brush. I'm not sure how metallic paints would get better.
No, chat. It's not that you're not supposed to mix paints. It's that you can choose not to mix the paints, but no, you have the power. You have the power to, and you can.
You can, and you should.
And
but
you should.
But also, that's something that comes with like using a wet palette, because if you're not doing that, then
You'll lose that tone.
yeah. And granted, I just switch palette papers every time I travel because it's hard to not have water kind of spill over it. But even so, if I'm here for like 6 hours like I am today, I want my paint to stay wet that whole time.
Because that is one of the things I was like most frustrated with when I started painting miniatures.
Yeah.
Was, dang, I can't get the tones to like stay consistent over the times when I am painting them.
Yeah, and that's another thing that like it's a reason that people just don't mix their own colors. But
it's a good skill to have.
It is
like,
a good skill to have.
Just be able to whip up the like a good color from, you know, the like basic.
It doesn't even need to be like primary colors either. It's just if you have like 20...
what paints you have on hand, and you can make some really good, amazing like appearances with that.
Yeah, I'd say if like you need the basic kind of 5 white, black, blue, yellow, and red to be really good, and then a good green and a good magenta or purple will go a long way.
I'm also just partial to like umber colors, so I also would personally recommend umber colors, but
yeah,
that's just
no, I get that. I'm very partial to like greens and purples. They're in most of the things
I think that's really cool though, because green and purple are very like generally vivid colors, so I'm very pleased whenever I see that cropping up.
And it's a way I can like add a little bit of whimsy to my models. And there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with it.
I really do feel like the color scheme adds like a lot to the miniature itself.
Yes, absolutely. It's what gives it character. You can have character in a sculpt. It can have.
See, I do see the sculpting materials at the army painter thing, and I'm like, oh boy, I don't even think I could even start approaching stuff like that. But I am amazed by those folks. Like,
yeah, I mean, I've done it. It's fun. It's very difficult. Right now, I'm doing a lot of pet sculpting, so like 1/6 scale, original characters. It's fun. It's difficult. Not as difficult as the scale. When you get this small, it's just so fun. And for the people that can do it every day, this small, I don't understand. Anyone who's interested in miniature sculpting, check out Raphael Stumpo Art on Instagram. His work is really good. I'm pretty sure he sells cast it's good for Warhammer. Good for larger scale. It's like a lot of fun to paint. I haven't actually got anything from there yet, but I probably will. This stuff is insane.
So we have gotten around 7. So I think it is about time to go ahead and start closing up.
Yeah.
Here is my guy. I don't know if that necessarily counts as progression, but it
I
is
think it
more
does.
color.
It's coming along really well. Can I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is looking really nice, and I'm liking the way you're getting the cool and warm colors together. It's a really nice look, and I think it'll look really nice.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
I kind of want to get to a point like with your miniatures where I can do like big vivid splashes of color that doesn't look out of place.
Like not Garrett.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much exactly it. Yeah, cuz I'm just always looking at your miniatures like, "Whoa, look at their pink mohawks." Whoa, and it's really good. So, bye Cass.
Bye, Kat.
And
Bye.
bye chat.
Bye, chat. Thank you for watching. Come back